Hello, my name is Angelo Gonzalez and this is my informative speech. Now, imagine a dark and cold world, one that has no lights or any energy to speak of. That would be a world or future where humans have run out of all fossil fuels in the world. Now, today for my speech, I will be talking about the advantages that renewable energy has over traditional fossil fuels. Now, I will be separating my speech into three main points, including, first of all, why renewable energy will last longer than many fossil fuels, why renewable energy is cheaper than fossil fuels, and lastly, why renewable energy has many more environmental benefits than traditional fossil fuels. Now, first I will be talking about longevity. So, according to Jennifer Morris, a scientist at MIT, many renewable energies come from sources such as the wind, the sun, or even water. Now, these sources are practically infinite in the way that we're never going to run out of them in our lifetime. This means that we can use these renewable energies over and over and over again without any fear of losing this energy. Now, she goes on to say that fossil fuels actually take millions of years to form, meaning that we will eventually run out of these fossil fuels if we continue to use them. This means that eventually humans will be forced to use renewable energy over fossil fuels. So if we were to switch now, it would end up being better since it would have longer use either way. Now that we know why renewable energy is more sustainable, let's talk about how it also compares in terms of cost. Now, according to the United Nations, around 90% of current renewable energy projects are already cheaper than many forms of fossil fuels. Now, specifically, an example of this would be according to the International Renewable Energy Agency, they did a study in 2024 to see exactly how cheaper renewable energy was, and they found that in terms of wind energy, it was already seen to be around 53% cheaper than even the cheapest form of fossil fuels. This means that many renewable energies can already be seen as cheaper. Another example of this would be solar energy being around 41% cheaper. This goes to show that there are many forms of energy out there that can already be utilized and are already cheaper than many forms of fossil fuels. This means this can make renewable energy more accessible to people worldwide, since cost can be a really huge factor in determining what energy we should use. So now that we know that renewable energy is cheaper than fossil fuels and can also last a lot longer than these fossil fuels, let's talk about how it's also more beneficial to the environment. So, fossil fuels release all these harmful gases that are usually called greenhouse gases. They release these into the atmosphere and can raise the global temperature, which leads to global warming. Now, according to Dr. Christian Breyer, who is an expert in energy systems, burning fossil fuels can result in the loss of energy in terms of heat. This means that we are losing a lot of energy just by burning these fuels, making it not as efficient. An example of this would be some cars even losing about 75% of their total energy just in the form of heat. And this heat goes into our atmosphere, which can contribute to global warming. And another reason could be, according to the United Nations, most greenhouse gases that are dangerous for our atmosphere are actually released by humans that burn coal, oil, and gasoline for many different reasons, such as using their cars, for heating, or even other basic needs such as everyday electricity that we need for our house. So, after reviewing the main points, we now know that renewable energy, is cheaper than many forms of fossil fuels. We know that it will last longer than many forms of fossil fuels, and we also know that it has many environmental benefits over fossil fuels, which are all reasons why I believe we should use renewable energy over these fossil fuels. I believe that if we were to learn more about renewable energy and invest more into this renewable energy, it could lead us to a future where we have cheaper, cleaner, more accessible, and definitely more reliable energy in the future for many years to come. Thanks for listening to my speech.